Coming up on The Potter's Touch.
I know you thought you'd be further than you were by now. I know you had in your mind that you were going to be an overnight success, but because of the womb you were in, God had to keep you down. Because of the people that were around you, God had to keep you down. Because of the system that birthed you, God had to keep your neck down so you didn't get your head cut off. But God is going to allow you to pass through the birth canal, and now you're getting out where you can stretch your neck and become who God called you to be. Tell your neighbor, this is my season.
This is the Potter's Touch.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I welcome you for this opportunity to experience the power and the life-changing influence of the Word of God. I love the Word of God, and this particular message that I'm going to share with you today is called The Heart of the Matter. I believe it will bless your life. It is an excerpt from the International Pastors and Leadership Conference, and whether you're a pastor or a leader or just a leader over yourself, I believe this word will strengthen you. Are you busy working a vision that no longer works? The more you are exposed to things, the more you realize your dysfunction. Say, wait a minute, I'm behind, I'm missing out. Come on, catch up. Let's catch up in the Word, and you can catch up in life. Check it out. I want to talk a little bit, let me explain a little bit about how I got to where I'm at right now. I went to a safari in South Africa that really blew my mind. I was invited over there as a guest, and I went to the safari, and I had this great experience. And while I was out there, I was traveling on a Jeep with a zoologist and a Zulu. And we were going into this conservatory to do a safari, and the zoologist was spouting all kinds of amazing information. He was telling me, all about the animals and how their teeth were shaped, and how when they bite certain branches, they prune them in such a way that nature allows the biting of the animal to prune the branch so the branch is not killed and it grows. He was telling me how to look at their feces and determine whether it was male or female, or how close they were, and what happened, just all kinds of amazing, zoological information that was amazing. The only thing was he could explain about the eagle and the breadth of its wings and how it flies. He could tell me about the rhinoceros and its mating practices and all of that. He could tell me about the lions and the tigers and all of that. He could even tell me about the elephants and how they drink water and how they conserve water and how they mate and how they do what they do, but he couldn't find them. He could explain it, but he couldn't find it. He couldn't find the elephant. And all of a sudden, the Zulu, who has got a shotgun sitting on the edge of the Jeep, the first time he says anything, he's been quiet the whole time, he stood up and said, "The elephant is over there." And all of a sudden, it ceased to be about the elephant, because suddenly I realized that I was seated in between intellect and instinct. Intellect can explain it all day long, but instinct can find it. Some of you have spent 20 years explaining something that you can't find. You can teach it, you got degrees in it, you got classes in it, you're qualified to do it, but you can't find it. And you get frustrated because you thought that if you went to school, having a degree would make you successful. But there's a difference between explaining an elephant and finding an elephant. Thank God for the intellect that makes you explain it, but dig a little deeper and get the instinct that makes you able to find it. And I suddenly realized that most every amazing thing that had ever happened in my life had come through a collaboration of intellect and instincts. That intellect loads the gun, but instinct pulls the trigger. Be as smart as you can be, learn all you can learn, be exposed to all you can be exposed to, because you're feeding your dream. You're feeding your dream. You're feeding your dream. But when you get through loading the gun, you gotta have the instinct to pull the trigger. When you get through getting all the stats and the data, and you went to all the data classes, and you did all the research, you did all the homework, and now you're ready to go back, you got all kinds of information, I'm so happy for you. But it's going to take a gut instinct to show you how to take what you learned and use it in your situation. Touch your neighbor and say, I'm getting ready to pull the trigger. For instance, the giraffe. The giraffe is an amazing animal in South Africa, just absolutely amazing animal. The animal is absolutely huge. He is amazing, and his name, his original name, literally translated means fast walker. One of the defenses that God built into the giraffe is the speed through which he can move. About 40 miles an hour. When he gets in a hurry, he can really get away. That's pretty fast. He is a fast walker. He is a fast walker. When you get back home, when the plane lands or the bus lands or you get out the car, this is not a season for you to be moving like this. This is a season for you to be a fast walker and step into your destiny and take back what the enemy stole. Touch your neighbor and say, it's going to be fast. Buckle your seatbelts. I'm going to go in the phone booth, Clark Kent. I'm going to come out Superman. I want you to get my beat, get my rhythm, because I'm getting ready to expedite the process. God told Abraham, surely blessings I will bless thee, and multiplying I will multiply thee. Multiplication is God expediting the process. Touch your neighbor and tell him God's getting ready to multiply in your ministry. More and more, you're going to see young men. There's some young men sitting over there right now who have built in 5 years what it took some of us old guys 40 years to build, because God is in a hurry. He has sped up the process. You have got to move. Touch your neighbor and say, move. Don't just think and plan and meditate and wish and philosophize and research and just draw pictures of it and sit up and hold your hands and frame it on the wall. No, you didn't come all the way down here and spend all of this money so that you could decorate your walls with pictures of your dreams. You came down here so you could step into your dreams and manifest the purpose of God. Look at somebody and say, I'm going to step into it. The amazing thing about the giraffe is that his neck is 9 feet long. His neck is 9 feet long. It's huge. From his hoof to the top of his head is about 16 to 20 feet, depending on how fast they grow. That's a pretty big animal. But let me tell you something. He is not born with a long neck. He is born short and stubby and small because all of that couldn't get through the womb. I knew it would get you in a minute. So when he comes forth, he doesn't really look like a giraffe because all of his attributes have not come to fruition. And the reason he has been dwarfed down is so that he could make it through the passage from one idiom of thought to the next, from one world to the next. Touch your neighbor, tell him I'm passing through. My neck hadn't come out yet. My hoofs aren't hard yet. I haven't got my legs together yet. The Bible said, despise not the day of small beginning. Don't judge me by where I start. Judge me by where I finish. His neck is growing. Once he gets out, his neck starts to grow. Once he gets out, his legs get strong. Once he gets out, he starts moving around, and little by little, he comes into the full stature of what he was meant to be. Not all at once, but every time you look around, he's growing just a little bit more into coming into his own and becoming, and that's the way God bless you. I know you wanted it to be quicker. I know you thought you'd be further than you were by now. I know you had in your mind that you were going to be an overnight success, but because of the womb you were in. God had to keep you down because of the people that were around you. God had to keep you down because of the system that birthed you. God had to keep your neck down so you didn't get your head cut off. But God is going to allow you to pass through the birth canal, and now you're getting out where you can stretch your neck and become who God called you to be. Tell your neighbor, this is my season. Now, understand me. Y'all doing all right? Understand me here. What drew me to this particular approach is that once I learned that the giraffe was a fast walker, and once I learned that his neck and his body and the massiveness of his body doesn't begin to grow until after he gets out, I begin to think, wow, there's something in there. And then I found out that giraffes eat from the tops of the trees. Giraffes eat from the tops of the trees. And God knew that where his sustenance was, where his nutrition was, God knew he was going to need a long neck to be able to reach to the tops of the trees where the sun has fallen and produced the best food for him to nurture on. Giraffes eat from the tops of the trees, not from the grass. I want to speak to every long neck ministry in this place. Your neck is too long, your destiny is too great, your prophecies are too sure, the anointing is too massive on your life for you to ever drop your head again. You cannot drop your head. You cannot drop your head. You cannot be around people that make you drop your head. You cannot feed thoughts to you that make you drop your head. You are at your best when you're standing up tall and ready to step into your destiny. Touch your neighbor and say, don't drop your head. When you get back home, don't drop your head. When you face trials, don't drop your head. When you're wrestling with the budget, don't drop your head. When they call a meeting with you and say, I'm leaving the church, don't drop your head. Because giraffes always eat from the tops.
Still to come on The Potter's Touch.
To all the giraffes in this room, don't climb up there for the money. Don't climb up there for the fame. Don't climb up there for the crowds. If you don't do it from your heart, your head will never be able to stay up there. In order to do a big work, you got to be a person with a big heart, because a big heart gives you the capacity to love on that level, to think on that level, to live on that level. It's not about getting a big church. It's not about getting big money. It's about getting a big heart.
MegaFest 2015 is more than a festival. It's an experience.
This is MegaFest.
From August 19th to the 23rd, MegaFest is taking over Dallas, an extravaganza for the whole family.
And 100% pure fun.
There is something for everyone. Visit mega-fest.com to find event updates and to make reservations. This experience is one you don't want to miss.
You know why giraffes eat from the tops of the trees? Because they can see up there. And they eat on the level of their vision. Always eat from the tops of the trees. Eat on the level of your vision. Eat on the level of what you see inside. And don't be intimidated by the critics who cannot see what you see. Reach what you reach. Know what you know, nor have what you have. It's ironic to me that the giraffe occupies the same space as the turtle. And both of them are doing what they can in the same spot that the giraffe exists. The turtle can be right at his feet, but the turtle can't see above the grass, and he eats on the level he sees, and the giraffe can see to the tops of the trees, and he eats on the level he sees. And all of it is fine until the giraffe starts learning from the turtle. Let me show you what I mean. I had an opportunity. I was doing some writing for the Washington Post, and their On Faith line had asked me to present and to write various op-ed pieces for them for a continued length of time. And I wrote them for a while, and I enjoyed writing them for a while, but after I'd written several of them, and I'd made the mistake of looking down at the comments. And when you click on the comments, I don't care what you're talking about. There are people who would come out and say some of the nastiest, most hateful, obnoxious remarks. The acrimonious remarks that were said were just mind-blowing to me, and I stopped writing. And so the head of the department came to me and said, Bishop Jakes, you haven't submitted anything for a while. When are you going to submit anything? I said, well, listen, I figured I wasn't too good at it. She said, why do you say that? We loved your material. It was a very popular column. I said, well, I started reading the comments at the bottom, and they were so negative, I decided I wasn't good at it. She said, Bishop Jakes, like, are you retarded? She says, don't you know those people who comment at the bottom are not our audience? She said, the Washington Post writes to intellectuals. The people that we're writing to don't have time to write those kind of comments. She said, didn't you notice that the people who responded couldn't even spell? And all of a sudden, I realized that I had allowed the comments of the turtles to rob me of the giraffe opportunity that God has given me. And the reason I want you to understand that is the moment you stick your neck out, there will always be some turtle down there criticizing what you're trying to do. But don't let the turtle stop you from stretching your neck to the level you're on, because the turtle is talking on the level he sees. He has no clue what's going on in the tops of the trees. He has no clue of what it's like to be you. The people who are talking about you and your family have no idea what it costs you to be who you are. The people who are evaluating you and telling you what you ought to do with your money have no idea how to run an organization. You don't get the advice of turtles when God called you to be a giraffe. Hallelujah to God. Touch 3 people and tell them, stick your neck out. Stick your neck out, hold your head up, and don't be distracted by the comments of the turtles. Are there any visionaries in the house? Visionary, let me tell you a quick story. About at least 25 years ago, maybe longer than that, I was praying for a building. It was the first building that I would ever buy for a church. And the building cost $36,000. And even back then, that was a very low sum of money. And the building had been condemned for about 20 years. And it had trees growing up in it and rats in it, and the ceiling was caving in. And when I went to see it, I thought, ooh, this will make a great church. Look at this building. And I looked in there, and they creaked the door open, and it smelled real bad. And I was so excited, I went back to my church and I got my little members and I brought them over to see the building because I thought they was gonna be so excited. And I brought them in to see how it was gonna be, and one girl threw up. They got so sick they thought I had lost my mind. And while they were trying to help her recover from being sick, I was saying, I'm gonna put the choir stand over there. I'm gonna put the choir, I'm gonna let it wrap all the way like this, and then I'm gonna build a wall. I'm gonna put the wall all the way up to the ceiling right here, and I'm gonna build a staircase right here. Do you think we can get I fell through the floor. I fell all the way through the floor, jumped up, and said, you know what, if we put the balcony over here, let me tell you something, faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it is the evidence of things you cannot see. Tell your neighbor, I can see it. The reason that the giraffe's neck is so big, it holds up his head, but it's fueled by his heart. And the giraffe's heart is 25 pounds. And the reason his heart is so big is because God knew his heart would be down here and his head would be way up there. And he needed a big enough heart muscle to pump the blood all the way up to the top of his head. To all the giraffes in this room, don't climb up there for the money. Don't climb up there for the fame. Don't climb up there for the crowds. If you don't do it from your heart, your head will never be able to stay up there. In order to do a big work, you got to be a person with a big heart, because a big heart gives you the capacity to love on that level, to think on that level, to live on that level. It's not about getting a big church. It's not about getting big money. It's about getting a big heart so that when all hell is breaking loose, you can still get the blood right up to the top of your head. Bring me that other bag. The giraffe's heart is that big, and the human heart is that big. And the turtle's heart is the size of my thumb. Small heart, small head. Bigger heart, bigger head. Huge heart, huge head. You've been trying to get up there, but if your heart is like this, you can't have a ministry like this. It must come from the heart, or it doesn't work. The reason the giraffe cannot lower his head no longer than to drink and come back up is because he will faint if he puts his head down. Because the blood is designed to go up. And the circulatory system that exists within the composites of his neck depends on him standing erect with his head up, because if he starts losing blood, he starts losing consciousness according to the capacity of his heart. Now I'm getting ready to close, and I don't say that in the preacher sense of close. I don't need no organ or nothing. I have learned that some people don't have the capacity to do great things, to accomplish great results, not because they're not smart, not because they are not convicted with principles, but if you love on a turtle level, You can't live on a giraffe level. Watch it. If your heart barely makes it around your own family, you don't have enough heart space to have a church. If you only love what came out of your body and have no compassion for what came out of your ministry, you can take all the notes you want to take. But if you got a small-hearted pastor, I can put him in a big, huge church, and he'll lose members down to the capacity of his heart. And if you're in a small church like I was, a little storefront with 7 members, and your heart is that big, God will give you people or vision or work or opportunities or relationships to match what is beating down in your heart. Alas, we must go. But as we go, I pray that the heart of the matter has not escaped you. I pray that you are sensitive like never before to what it takes to really shift the course of your life and get on course with your destiny. Your destiny is too great and your ministry too important to drop your head and start eating on the level of the grass. Stretch your neck up and come on and be a part of what God has for you. And I would to God that you and I could agree together that God would make a way for you to set aside a few days like we're going to do and join us in Orlando, Florida, where we can sharpen each other and strengthen each other and build one another up. I believe that what you have been looking for is at our International and Path to the Leadership Conference. Do not miss it. Before I die in a cage, I want to run in the wild.
To understand what it is to be a pastor.
They can hear the life-changing message that and the education.
You're frustrated about something that's just an incubator to take you to the next dimension.
Now we're going to grow and go to global missions. No more limits, no more boundaries.
To register for this international gathering, visit pastorsandleaders.org or call 1-800-BISHOP2.
Religion always gazes at where it last saw God, but relationship moves beyond history to destiny.
Bringing resurrection power to your stagnant situation. Purpose in Motion.
God only asks you to pray to bring you into agreement. He doesn't ask you to pray so that he can get information. What do you know that heaven is unaware of?
For your gift of any size, you will receive the God Has Moved On CD from the Purpose in Motion series. And for your gift of $75 or more, you will receive the Purpose in Motion 3 DVD set.
It's not just that you have a testimony, you are a testimony. Anybody been through what you've been through and you still alive to tell it?
However, for your gift of $160 or more, you'll receive the Purpose in Motion series on DVD, large print Bible, and an everyday reminder of God's faithfulness. It's time to move forward. Put your purpose in motion.
See, you're trying to touch and agree with people who don't have your rhythm. You may touch, but you can't agree. I want to prophesy to you that this is your year to make connections with people, places, and things that have the same rhythm that you have been carrying in your heart all of these years. And when you connect, yokes will be broken, doors will be opened, ways will be made. God will do what he called you to do.
This is the potter's touch.